Hey everyone, it's Kaz. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thank you for joining me today. If you don't mind taking a breath with me. Thank you. So today we're going to be talking about 3 things that you can do to prepare for the unprecedented shifts that are happening in the world, that are happening right now and that are going to continue happening. One of the first things you can do is be out in nature. That's not one of the 3, but you should definitely do that. Come be out in nature, as most of you are probably aware. The world has been an increasingly dramatic place to be in over the last 4 or 5 years especially. Everything that we've known to be true and to be solid for so long has turned itself upside down. The perception of solidity and the perception of stability has decreased over the past few years more than it has in a very long time. Many of us are aware that this is a time, this is a push for people to grow internally. This is a time in which the earth is growing and we need to grow with it. So here's 3 things that you can do to prepare for more changes, because it's going to keep changing and it's not going to be stable whatsoever. So number 1, don't rely on external circumstances for your own internal circumstance. Let me say that again in a different way. Don't rely on what's happening in the world to feel a certain way. You see, it's so easy to fall into the trap of, well, once the world is working again, then I can feel better. Because the world is going through so much right now, I feel not good. I want you to see how this old paradigm of thinking and being doesn't serve us. You see, the world is going to do what the world is going to do. And we can contribute to that in the ways that we can. And that's great. And I'm not saying to not contribute. I'm not saying to not think about it. I'm not even saying to not do something about it. Do whatever you can in your own capacity that feels right. However, to have your internal state be reliant upon the external circumstances in the world is going to lead you into disaster. It's going to be a vicious cycle. You're not going to be able to control what happens in the world. There's going to be crazy things that are happening left and right. And if you're waiting for the circumstances to be perfect, not even in the world, just in your own life, if you're waiting for circumstances to be perfect, for you to have the internal state that you desire to have, for you to feel freedom, for you to feel happiness, for you to feel joy, for you to feel bliss, if you're waiting for things to happen outside of you, it's not going to happen that way. You're never going to have that perfect time. It's never going to be that perfect place. If you have an idea of what that perfect place was in the past, that's some idea that you've romanticized, it's most likely that even back then, in that moment, it didn't feel like it was the perfect place, that it had to become a memory for it to become the perfect place, because the perfect place, the perfect circumstance doesn't exist for us to have control and to take back responsibility for our internal state. You see, the old paradigm of humanity was, the circumstances are that way, therefore I am this way. The world is messed up, therefore I am depressed and confused. It's hot outside, therefore I am complaining. It's cold outside, therefore I am complaining. There's circumstances happening out there in the world. People are mean, therefore I am bitter. People are violent, therefore I am violent. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you see how this leads to a continual cycle of viciousness, a continual cycle of lack of responsibility, a continual cycle of not having control in the world, in your own personal world? See, there is the world, a world that exists outside of us that we are a part of, however, we are not in control of. And then there is an our world. In our world, we are the co-creators of our own reality. In our world, we must become responsible for our part in the co-creation of that world. The way in which the circumstances occur to us and the impact that they have on us is up to us. So old paradigm, something happens out there, therefore I am now justified to have this negative experience over here. New paradigm, there is something happening out there, and I am responsible for what's happening in here. If you desire to feel happiness, if you desire to feel joy, if you desire to feel freedom, that is your birthright. Do practices, meditation, breath work, eat healthy, go on walks, do what you can to cultivate that internal state of peace, of joy, of harmony, of bliss, so that you can experience the life that you want to experience, no matter what's happening in the external world, because things are going to keep getting crazier. And if you're waiting for it to stop getting crazy, you're going to be waiting for a very long time. Number 2, the second thing that you can do to prepare for turbulence in the world is develop your own inner truth. You see, part of the reason why so many of us get carried away by the events happening in the world, and not just the events happening in the world, but get carried away in needing to know, you see, get carried away in what other people have to say about the events, is to develop our own barometer for truth. See, if we don't develop our own sense of how we want to navigate the world in a certain way, we're going to be misguided. We're going to be thrown into these old paradigms, you know, oh, this is what it means to be a good person. If you're not doing this, then you're not a good person. If you're not doing this, then you're socially unaware. If you're not doing this or that or this or that. No, see it for what it is. That's other people's perception. Those are other people's beliefs of what it is to be good or bad, or just or unjust. You are completely able to come up with your own relationship with how you want to navigate the world and the circumstances that are at play. If other people are saying that we need to participate in the movement and we need to be energetically involved and we need to become aggressive and we need to attack the other side, and if you don't have a grounding and you don't have a truth for yourself of which you want to stand firmly in and navigate your path in this world, you're going to become misguided. You're going to get swayed emotionally by people who are very emotionally entrenched in the world events and have a lot of persuasive energy, and you might not want that. That might not be what's best for you. Maybe the way that you want to participate, and maybe the way that's best for you to participate, is to sit in your room and meditate and become conscious of all of the things happening in the world and contribute positive energy in that way. Maybe you don't want to participate in the division, in the polarization of both worlds. Maybe you don't want to take a side because you can see the half-truth that exists for both sides. The less we are prone to having our own energy be manipulated by forces that aren't standing in the truth that we're standing in, the more power we have to actually enact real transformation and change in the world from a level that's higher than that which is material, from a level that's higher than you're bad, I'm good, from a level that's higher than just left, right, good, bad, right, wrong. And the third thing you can do to prepare for the turbulent times that are ahead and that we're going through is to take advantage. This is a time in the world where not only are we being forced to confront things that we've maybe been avoiding for a really long time, but it's also a time in which we have so much power accessible at our fingertips. If we can research practices, if we can understand the world around us from many different perspectives that are available to us, from the quantum perspective, from the perspective of the ancients, from the perspective of spirituality, you can combine and synthesize all of these practices and ideas. You can actually come to a realization and experience the world in a completely new way that wasn't available to experience before. See, part of the reason why things are so turbulent is because there's a breakdown of the old. Everything that we thought was the way it was is no longer the way that it was. And so it's two-sided, because on one side, if you're somebody who is confronting something that you've never been able to confront before, you're going to have to overcome that before you can release it and experience what's available on the other side of it. However, once you get to the other side of it, we're coming into these states of being, we're coming into these vibrational realms in which our power to manifest is so rapid and it's so insanely powerful that if we can cultivate our awareness and if we can cultivate that power through meditation, through breath work, through having a clear vessel, through connecting with our heart, our brain, through having that intuition, that coherence, then we're able to shift things in reality at a pace in which we've never been able to do before. And so it truly is a beautiful time to be alive. It's just, we're also going through turbulence. So you really need to shift the compass within which you operate in the world. Develop your own internal practice. Treat your body like a temple. Treat your mind like a temple. Don't consume that which doesn't serve you. Be aware of the news. Be in the world, but not of the world. And you will see that this time is going to be one of the most amazing times to be alive. The most amazing time to be alive that's ever existed, because you're here. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.